everybody, Quinn Redeker here with Rider Magazine. So I am in Spain on the beautiful island of Tenerife for KTM's launch of the 1390 Super Adventure S Evo. So Evo stands for an automatic transmission system. Okay, it's an auto clutch. There's no clutch lever. I screwed up the S. I thought it stood for stay a couple more days and ride with us and check out the island. Turns out that's not what it stands for. It stands for street. So that's kind of a downer. That's on me. So let me walk you through the bike. I got a chance to ride it for a day. Okay, so this is one day's seat of the pants, the things that stuck out for me that I think were meaningful for you to know at this stage. First thing, it's an automatic clutch, so there is no clutch lever. What I will say about this, I've had a chance to ride Honda's DCT and the ASA BMW system, and this is the most natural, traditional clutch feeling auto clutch that I've encountered. What do I mean by that? Well, the way this works, it's a centrifugal force clutch. At about 1900 RPMs, it starts to engage that power from the motor down to the driveline. So you get some nice slipping of the clutch. If you've ever ridden a scooter where you give it a little crack of the throttle and it just goes, and you don't really have any motor building of power before it drives into the rear wheel, this does not work like this. This is like you've got a clutch that's slipping and then it engages, and at about 1900 it really gives you some power. While that might at first glance make you feel like, man, I kind of got to get that motor humming before the bike starts to go, that is true. But the flip side of that, and for me, if you know my stuff, I'm a slow speed, closed course, tight cone riding guy, and automatic clutches are not usually the best situation. But for me, this one in particular, that enables me to slip the clutch up to 1900 RPM, what it means is I can go nice and slow and controlled, very light rear brake, but it's not beating the system up because I don't need a lot of horsepower, a lot of RPMs, and then hammer the rear brake. In other words, it's nice and smooth and controlled. I did some nice full lock, tight figure eights today, just playing around on it, and the motorcycle had no problems with it at all. So really, really cool in that respect. Very traditional feel, which is surprising. I have not had that experience with an auto clutch system. The one thing that can be frustrating if you do ride auto clutches is the shift points. When you ride them, they never seem to be really where you want them. Those points where it's sort of like intrinsically knows, okay, I want to shift. It either holds gears too long or it short shifts when you don't want it to. And this system uses some technology in it that looks at your speed, how much force you have, what your lean angles are, to try to make good judgments on that when you're in an automatic mode. And within that as well, it has a comfort setting, a street setting, and a sport setting. So it does try to do some math to figure out what do you want. So I would say 60% of the time they hit it on the nose, which is fine. But that did mean sometimes I was downshifting or upshifting. Now, let me just tell you, this motorcycle upshifts and downshifts in like a million different configurations, kind of whatever you want to do. So when I first started riding it, I was using my left foot to shift a toe shifter like you're familiar with. And then as I kind of got comfortable, I said, okay, I've got things figured out a little bit. And I would downshift or upshift a little bit while I was still in automatic mode. What that does is for about 4 seconds, it overrides whatever the bike was naturally going to do. And then it goes back into whatever its natural setting would put it at. Then I could use a paddle shifter on my hand. I could upshift with my thumb or downshift with my index finger. Cool. Or on the throttle, if I wanted to downshift, I could do it one of two ways. I can kind of goose it a little bit and it will downshift. It'll feel that snappy throttle. It'll drop a gear down. Or I can what's called overstop it. So once the throttle is stopped at full closed, there's a little bit of play and you can downshift it this way too. So if you think about that, in addition to that you're in automatic mode and it's going to make shift points where it figures things out, that's a lot of opportunity for you to make fine little adjustments depending on what you're doing, where you are, and really your aesthetic to how you like to ride. Within, I mentioned those three settings for the automatic transmission. This also has, however, in the computer system, a street mode, a rain mode, a sport mode, and if you get the tech pack, you can also get a rally mode. I recommend the tech pack. There's a handful of other electronic things it unlocks to make this bike really adjustable for you. And I'll get into some of those things. But now if you put it in street mode, for example, now if you're just in your automatic transmission mode, you give it gas, and at about 3,500 RPMs, it's gonna shift gears for me. That's okay, right? That may or may not be where I want it. I put it in sport mode, and now we're closer to say 5,000. It's holding revs a little longer, and that threshold has been bumped up. So that's going to show you right there that all those things, depending on the modes that you're in, make the automatic transmission system a lot more flexible. And of course, at any point in time, you can always override that. What I found myself doing was keeping it in automatic mode and overriding it a little bit here and there. Once we got to the canyons and the twisties, I pretty much left it in manual mode, and I used a combination. I was standing on my feet, riding it around, and I was using my paddle shifters. Then when I sat, I would use a combination of my paddle shifters. I would overstop it. I was using my foot. I mean, I was using all kinds of stuff. I mean, you really get comfortable with it. And you can do it a myriad of different ways, which I think was actually pretty nice. If there's one message that I got from KTM, not just from their message of sitting down and telling me about the tech specs and the bike, was that this motorcycle is really infinitely configurable. And I want you to think about this for a second. When you think about buying a new motorcycle, one of the concerns you're going to ask yourself when you look at the spec sheet is, okay, well, what did they do? How did they change it? And do I like the change they made? Because in most cases, when they make a decision, you have to live with that decision. And maybe that is a shift point, or maybe that's how the traction control engages, or at what point the ABS engages, or some of the other safety features that it has. What KTM has done that in my mind is huge is they've said, hey, here are all these things this bike can do. Do you like this? Oh, you don't like that? Turn it off. Do you like this? Okay, turn it down. For example, this has a radar system on the front of it, and within that radar you have adaptive cruise control. Really cool feature. That means I can set my speed and it will maintain, even applying brakes if need be, that gap, which I can adjust. Understand, I can also adjust that initial gap that I set, and I'm going to stay there. But now I also have collision avoidance tools on this platform. So I was coming really hard into a turn, and this thing has braking assisting. What does that mean? Well, if there's a vehicle in front of me and it's slowing and I'm applying brakes, I see that it's slowing and I'm applying brakes too, but it does the math with this radar and says, hey, you know what? There's still closing distance. You need to brake harder than you're braking. It will apply brakes for me. Well, that's great. It's gonna help, okay? It's gonna maybe avoid a collision. But let me tell you, I didn't know it was gonna do that. And from a lever feel standpoint, my lever, which I had nice force in these nice Brembos, it felt fantastic. All of a sudden my lever went away. It felt like old antiquated early years ABS, where it clicks into ABS, poof, your brakes go away. That's what it felt like at the lever, when in fact, nothing was malfunctioning. It was actually giving me more brakes, but I was terrified. I thought, what happened to my brakes? They just went away. And I started asking around, and some of the other journalists said, no, this is what it is. And it was doing it to them here and there, but they were familiar with it. I didn't like it. So one of the engineers walks over and says, oh, you don't like that? And I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm gonna make sure I make a point of that, because I don't enjoy that feature it had. He just went into the settings, turned it off. Doesn't do it anymore. So that was my first foray with, this bike is really adjustable in so many ways. The suspension, totally electronically adjustable suspension. Fantastic. There's some technology related to the stiction on the forks that came from MotoGP. He talked for about 30 seconds and it was already over my head, but essentially the fully adjustable suspension enables a lot less in the design, a lot less stiction in the forks. So that means, what are we talking about with stiction, is when you hit those little bumps, it takes a lot of movement, a lot of force to get initial movement, and stiction kind of creates some harsh slow speed stuff. This is much more plush in the early stages of the fork movement. Fantastic. Well, this suspension, one of the settings that it has, enables to keep my ride height up, meaning that I can push a button on here, and when I'm hard on the brakes, it won't get so much fork dive. So that's great, especially if I'm two up, full bags, all that mass on the motorcycle with all that weight transfer under braking. I'm gonna love something like that. But it was something that I had on, and it felt, for me, at the speed I was going, I wasn't getting enough front end planting. And again, it was one of those things like, why did they do this? I don't like this. And then the engineer walks over, moves a couple buttons, poof, and it's gone. And then I could see the value in certain situations that I'll only be in 1 in 100 times I ride it. But it's there, but now it's off. And that is just the theme throughout this whole motorcycle's riding with me today. This motorcycle has almost 175 horsepower, which is a lot. But at first glance, when I looked at it, I said, okay, well, it has 175 horsepower, but it's got all these electronic doodads to save me from myself. So it's not really 175 horsepower. Well, guess what? You can turn it all off at the click of a couple buttons, which I got to do today. All it keeps on is front ABS. And first of all, be careful what you wish for. But secondly, you have, it's almost like taking a monster and putting them in like charm school. This thing is a charming, wonderful monster. And when you want to turn everything off and say, hey, monster, show me what you can really do, this bike is just a beast. And if you want like a real riding experience, and you're the kind of person like me every now and then, you know, you've had your Wheaties and you want to shut everything off and show the world what you can do, this bike will let you do it. And that was again, KTM isn't letting you save yourself. It's saying, okay, you told me you want this, this, and this. All right, we're going to give it to you. And that was an experience for me today. My biggest takeaway with this bike, I can tell you about the torsional rigidity of the frame and the lateral rigidity and how it's stable and it felt really, really planted. But those aren't the things that really stuck with me. What stuck with me is I like to say, hey, you have a bike that can be maybe 2 in 1 a little bit, a bit of a Swiss Army knife. This is like 5 in 1. If me, you, and my neighbor Bob all had one of these bikes for 1 month, and then after we rode them around for the month, we all took turns switching to the next guy's bike, it wouldn't feel like the bike that you own because it's so adjustable. This thing will enable me to give me exactly what I want, when I want, and how I want it. And it's so configurable that it's not going to be how you choose. But that's the beauty of the platform. It is an adventure platform. When I first looked at this, I said, well, it's an adventure bike. Why? I don't really understand why you would take it away from the adventure space, and it's a street bike now. Well, now that I've ridden it, I lost sight of the category that it's in because I could take this thing anywhere and do anything. A capable track person could take this thing to the track and embarrass pretty much everybody there. It is super, super fast. It goes, it stops, it turns, but within that, just to give you an idea, I can go into the suspension and I can infinitely adjust it. If right now you have a bike at home where you play with the clickers, right? A couple compression clicks, a little bit of rebound damping, this thing will allow you to do that in that same sort of mindset way where you can go into a special setting and start playing with clicks and it remembers those clicks. So that to me is a racer's mentality that says, hey, we're gonna let you do everything that you wanna do in as many ways as you wanna do it. And we're gonna give you things you didn't even think of that you might want. And if you don't want it, it's okay. So I've been really surprised how, and it's an adventure platform. It's super comfortable. While we were riding through the canyons, I'm sitting here rolling up my windscreen because I'm like, you know, I'd roll it down, I'd stand up on the pegs and flow through the canyons, just play around with everything. Big wide bars, the bike falls over nice and easy, super tractable, super planted. But I'm leaving you with this idea that I haven't come away with a motorcycle that enables me to do so many wonderful things. I had a hell of a good time on this bike, and it's going to be hard to part ways with it. And I know the S stood for street, but I might still somehow bend somebody's arm to stay a couple more days and ride this thing because it was a hell of a good time. I feel 10 years younger, and thanks for the opportunity.